All right, welcome everyone. Excited to have you with us today. We are going to give it just a minute as people are continuing to join. But while we wait, as you know, we like to always do a question to start off. We have a couple questions today. So first off, always and forever, where you're from. It's always fun to see if people are from anywhere nearby. And tell us what you're doing to celebrate this bonus day that we get, Leap Day. And also, did you join last month's webinar? We just want to level set a little bit if you were able to join the last AI webinar, just so we know where people are coming from, if you were able to join us for that. So tell us where you're coming from, how you're celebrating this bonus day we've been given, and if you had joined us last month. As we are waiting, so thank you, Nathan, our staff member with us, Chile, Wisconsin. Oh, I'm glad you appreciate it, Carol. Thank you. I do not know how to say that. Ohio. I'm holding a diaper drive for a local diaper bank. Oh, that's awesome. And did not attend. Well, this is going to be a great continuation. So I did drop in there as well the link for last month. So if you'd like to view after, this will be a continuation, a little deeper dive as we're going to get into it. We're going to have a little more show part of the show and tell. So really going to be a little more involved today, give you the opportunity to do it on your end as well. So Northwest Indiana. Let's see, we've got some Kentucky, some South Carolina. Love it. Getting some extra work done on this bonus day. Yes, love to see it. Spending the day in the office. We have a lot of work. Guys, we need to do more social. We need to have more fun. No, work is great. Working, spend the day wrapping up. It is a very fun feeling. I am obsessed with Leap Day. I think it's a fun concept. So yeah, keep it coming as we're going. We're going to go ahead and just get started. I want to give Zach as much time as possible today. So formally welcome to today's webinar. So Engage and Grow, AI Strategies for Chamber Membership Success. So again, today is going to be a deeper dive into last month's AI webinar. I did drop that link in there as well. If you weren't able to view it, definitely recommend you go back. We do have a series of webinars coming up. So the last month's was the beginning, the intro, and we discussed in that, or we being Zach, several different topics that these subsequent webinars are focusing in on each of those different buckets or concepts. So just as a reminder, Institute is both a CAE and a CCE approved provider. So this webinar, if you are present on today's call, will count as 1 hour of CAE credit and 1 point of CCE credit. And if you are present, you can request a webinar certificate after the webinar by emailing us at iom@uschamber.com, and then a recording of the webinar and the presentation and any reference materials will be available on our website about 48 hours after the website. So I'll just go ahead and pin that in there so you have that email. And as you have questions throughout the webinar, we invite you to drop those in the chat. Again, today is going to be more of a workshop, and I'll let Zach get into how so. So a little bit more hands-on, but definitely ask questions as we're going. This is for your edification and for you, so we want to tailor it to where your questions are. Just to give a brief intro of Zach, again, want to leave as much time for the content here. Zach is a seasoned marketing and communications professional, leveraging a decade of experience with AI technology to scale organizations' marketing, sales, and administration strategies and campaigns. He is a frequent speaker at conferences and provides insights into the convergence of AI in marketing. And beyond work, Zach serves on 2 nonprofit boards and is a passionate traveler, a wine enthusiast, and a storyteller. He lives in Charleston, South Carolina, and balances an active professional life with his love for family and culture. So with that, Zach, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you very much, and very excited to see some people who were here last month, and very excited to see some new people. As CC mentioned, this is somewhat a continuation and a deep dive of last month. So last month, what we did was this was more of an introduction, high level, getting on the same page, and we are going to briefly go over a little bit of that today. But what we're really going to do, you see, I'm wearing flannel. I got my sleeves rolled up. We're going to put some work in today. I'm actually going to share my screen in a tool. We're going to use prompts. We're going to get outputs. And we're essentially going to work through a new member journey. And what I mean by that is we're going to start at how do you get a strategy, a data-driven strategy on engaging new members, particularly in a certain industry. Then we're gonna do some outreach that's personalized to that member. We're gonna prepare for a one-on-one meeting, and then we're gonna engage with that member. And I'd like to actually use real world case studies from you. So when we get to the actual case studies, I'd love some volunteers to let me put your information, a link to your website, a link to a prospective member or something, so that we could actually work this out. I do want to just do one set of expectation setting, and that is that this isn't going to go smoothly. So when you enter a prompt into AI, you don't get the perfect result. That's not how this works. So what I'm hoping, even though they're quite good prompts, if I do say so myself, what I'm hoping is that these prompts are going to give us some decent outputs that together we're going to have to work on. And I do hope, if you can, pull up an AI tool on your computer and let's work alongside. I'm going to drop these prompts into the chat that you can copy and paste and fill in with your own information so that you're generating these outputs. And then we're going to share these outputs at the, the prompts at the end anyway. And so as you're doing this, you'll be able to say, this didn't work, it did work, this is great, but how do I get it to do that? And let's workshop it together. Hopefully we can get through it all. But that's what I'd like to try to get done today. So we're not just going to teach you and tell you how to do this. We're going to show you and work together. And hopefully that will be valuable. So who we are, CC gave a very nice introduction, almost as if I wrote it or something. So thanks, CC. And you know, we started on this journey in marketing and became frustrated that all the trainings and webinars and things were very high level or philosophical. What we didn't really feel like was someone speaking to us at a smaller organization level, and how do we use off-the-shelf AI to do more, to grow our profits, to become more efficient, to increase our quality of work. And that set us on this journey. And then we started that journey, and now we say we're not just going to teach you, we're going to show you. Yes, the high humans. So some of you recognize that before. And like I said, I'm going to very briefly go an intro into AI, just so we're all on the same page here. Talk about the best way to engage with AI, and then we're just going to jump as quickly as I can into the member success prompts and strategies that we've prepared for today. And at the end, there'll be a free resource that is more of a general high-level marketing, comms and marketing beginner guide using AI. And of course, along the way, stop me, put some questions into the chat, and let's make it interactive. I know how difficult it is to attend a webinar when someone's just talking at you for 45 minutes to an hour. So I hope this is more of a conversation. Okay, so AI essentially, again, if you want, go back, look at last month's webinar if you haven't. We'll go into what I'm about to go into in way more detail in that webinar. But essentially, AI was created to generate outputs that mimic humans' ability to generate those same outputs. There's something called the Turing test in the beginning, and if you cannot distinguish an output, if there's an output and you can't tell, did a computer do this or did a human do this, it passes the Turing test. That was the beginning of artificial intelligence. The change is that about 16 months ago, artificial intelligence came out in a new way where the average non-tech person can use it to generate things, to produce things, to make their work a lot more efficient and better. And I started including this too because a lot of people have never used AI that we speak to. And so this is familiar to some and maybe not to others. This is ChatGPT. When we say AI, a generative AI, off-the-shelf AI model, what we mean is this. It's just a web page, an application that you open up and you engage with, you type into as if you were a Google search bar. It's really not much more than that. When you say a prompt, you're just instructing it to do something, or not even instructing it. You're just kind of starting to ideate or converse with it to get some kind of response and feedback. So this is what it looks like. So again, if I encourage you to open up an AI model, whether that's ChatGPT, and that's chat.openai.com, or Google's Gemini, that's gemini.google.com, or maybe it's .app, you can also search it. And I'm gonna use a different tool today, actually. So that's ChatGPT. This is Gemini. This is the tool I'm gonna use called Copy AI. And the other thing is, why are we doing this? Why is it important to use AI? Well, we presented some other statistics last time, but this is some new stats. On average, small business owners who use AI in their workflows say that it does the work of actually 2.1 employees. And that 76% of small business owners say that AI frees both business owner and employees' time to focus on high value tasks. That's a very important theme. And 93% agree that AI is cost effective and drives profitability, which is something that we're seeing across the board. So there's lots of ways to do it. It ends blank page syndrome. You can ask it for ideas. It'll streamline longer form content. So I could take the transcript of this webinar that we're doing now that CC and the team is recording. I could upload it to the AI tool and ask it to create a whole range of content, from social media posts to blog article ideas to outlines to newsletters, newsletter sections to even ideas for more videos or shorter videos. Prospecting and personalizing member engagement. We have some prompts we're going to go over today. Scaling mail merge, scaling multi-channel marketing campaigns. We'll go over that in a subsequent webinar. And editing and proofreading. People miss this. AI, people think it's very, very fancy. They want to do all these incredible big things. Actually, it's also really great for editing and proofreading. I have a small team. I think some of you on the call have a small team. And it's very difficult to kind of gauge the content that you've written yourself. And maybe your team members are quite busy. You can use AI, put it into ChatGPT, then put it into Gemini, then put it into something else and say, can you edit and proofread this? And it's actually a really great tool. It's another set of eyes. But there's of course limitations. So AI cannot do everything. It can include inaccuracies or misinterpretations, struggles with nuance of language, culture, and context. It gives answers that are plain wrong. I used to ask how many of you have experienced a time when AI has given you an answer that's plain wrong. And when not everybody raised their hand who uses AI, it made me nervous because it's happening. It's definitely giving you wrong answers sometimes. So you just have to be aware of it, and know that it's happening, and you'll be able to mitigate some of that. It lacks memory and ability to understand longer conversations. So we're going to go into this right now. But essentially, the best way to get output from AI is you don't just give it one prompt and get a result. You start ideating and have a longer conversation, and you work your way down, and eventually you get to something really, really nice and useful. But after a while, some AI tools have different memory spans, essentially, and it'll forget the beginning parts of the conversation, and then it'll start producing answers that are kind of really outlandish and don't make sense. It doesn't see people as individuals. We're all data sets. I know that hurts my feelings, but it's just the truth. And there's a possibility of drift. What drift means is that these AI models are continually being trained on different types of information and based on whatever they think the model needs to improve in. So if I do the trainings for ChatGPT and I think ChatGPT needs to get better at calculating trip times or being a better event planner or something like that, I will feed it a lot of data on event planning. But I'm then not feeding it data on something like basic arithmetic. And this actually happened. ChatGPT got worse at basic arithmetic 6 months after it launched than when it first launched because it was being trained in all this other data that wasn't basic arithmetic. Same thing. I become obsessed with AI. Because I know more about AI, I've become dumber and know less about other things that I used to know about. It's just a logical thing. It's about bandwidth and resources. So, and again, I know I'm moving quickly, but the other webinar will go over this in more detail. If we know that AI can do a lot for us, and we know that AI has limitations like hallucinations and giving us wrong information, what is the best way to engage with it to get the most out of it? Well, we have found a lot of success in teaching people how to use AI as if it's a fast-paced junior employee who's ambitious, is trying to make a name for itself, rushes to finish tasks, which is good. You get stuff done quickly, but it'll leave you vulnerable to making mistakes. It needs a lot of guidance, lacks maturity and understanding. Remember that AI is an amplifier. It is not a replacement. So even though a small business owner will say, yes, AI is doing the work of 2.1 people, it's not 2.1 separate new people. It's essentially accelerating or amplifying the work of existing employees as if they were becoming more than just the regular 40 hours that they put in. But it's not just I don't know how to do marketing, I'm going to hire AI to do marketing. You can't do that. You still need to know marketing. You still need to know your expertise. And you all know your members, you know your communities, you know your chamber, you know the businesses that you serve. AI is not going to know that more than you. And so we have to remember that AI lacks that type of understanding and experience. And also, just like a junior employee, and we'll go into this when you see the use case, but the better guidance that you give AI, the better outputs that you get. The more you can talk about why are you doing this? What is the audience for this output? What action do you want people to take? Give me more information about your organization, your chamber. Give me more organization about the target audience that you're looking to do. The more you can do that, the better the output, the better you can focus the AI's essentially brain and thinking. So when you're prompting, remember, give ample context. Role play. So role play is simply just basically having like AI wear a specific hat when you start to engage with it. So if I want to engage AI to help me do member engagement, I would then say, act as a vice president of member engagement at a chamber of commerce. Now I'm taking the AI's vast set of knowledge and I'm focusing it on things that are more relevant to the task, which I'm going to now ask it to perform. Because the challenge with AI is that it knows like a bunch of things about a lot of topics, and that's actually not that helpful. So if you think about, again, a junior employee, if you have a junior employee who is a generalist, that's great. They can do a lot of different things. But if you need specialist outcomes, if you need someone who's very good at their job, then having a generalist is kind of a challenge. You really want specialization. And by role playing and scenario playing with AI, you can start honing it to get it to kind of act more as a specialist instead of a generalist. Use word processing tools outside of AI. AI like ChatGPT and Gemini, when you're typing in, it's very limited. You can't bullet, you can't bold, you can't do line spaces. I mean, you can, but it's difficult. But if you go into Microsoft Word or Google Docs, you can type it all out, a nice, neat, formatted, hyperlinked, all this stuff, and then you put it into the tool and you'll get a lot better outcome. Have a conversation, include goals and audiences. Why is this being produced? Add a tone and voice. You don't want AI to sound like AI. You want AI to sound like you or your organization. And so you need to prescribe a tone and voice for it to be able to do that, to be able to communicate as if it's someone on your team or as if it's you. And a quick tip on that. Let's say you don't know how to describe your own tone and voice. It's actually a really difficult thing to do. I know how I wish I sounded, but I don't really know how I do sound. And so what I do is I'll take something that I've written that I like and or that people have said that they like. And I'll take 2 paragraphs and I'll put it into ChatGPT or Gemini or Copy AI, and I'll say, can you please describe this tone and voice? I'll save that. And every time you're having it rewrite something for you, you can say, rewrite this in this tone and voice. And then it's becoming more of like a team member and not just some model somewhere else. Give an ABC, do X, Y, Z. So essentially the idea here is you give the context first, and then you ask it to do something. Try and refine. Again, you're going to see that. We're going to live through that. AI is not perfect. It's going to make mistakes. We're going to live through that. So I just breezed through basically what we did in an hour last month, and I know that was a lot. So I do want to take one moment before we dive into the actual use cases. I want to take a moment to see if anybody has questions about any of that, and also to take a sip of seltzer. Okay, is that all pretty straightforward? You can type it into the chat. I'm not sure if you have the ability to unmute, but you can type it into the chat. Something comes up, just type it in. Okay, so let's get into the actual work. Again, I highly recommend that you open up is there a character limitation on prompts? There is, it's depending on the model. ChatGPT is like the most restrictive that I have found out of the free tools, but it depends on the model. The way you can kind of get around it is you do like attachments. So if I have like a huge document that I want, well, actually, we're going to do this today. So like I took the transcript of the last webinar, and we're going to use that in one of the prompts. But it's actually too long to just upload. So I have it as a PDF, I'm going to attach it. So there is a character limit, but you're usually only going to reach that character limit is if you're like trying to copy and paste an entire like very large document, not if you're just typing it out. I mean, you can go pages and pages of one prompt and you'll be fine. That's a good question though. And any other questions, please put them into the chat. Okay, so open up ChatGPT, open up Gemini, whatever you want to use. Let's get to work. I'm going to actually show you, I'm going to stop sharing this presentation and I'm going to show you the tool that I'm going to use, which is copy.ai. If you end up liking copy.ai, you can ask me later for a discount link. I'm happy to provide that for you. So again, the idea here is that we're going to go through this in almost like an entire journey. Like if I'm sitting here as a chamber executive and I want to start growing our membership, probably the first thing that I would do is start thinking about a strategy. I don't want to just go and find a business and then reach out. I want to think about like what is our strategy? What is the overall approach that we should take? Well, AI is going to help us do that. And let me just share the right screen here. There we go. Okay, so this is Copy AI. And with Copy AI, essentially like what you're going to see here is like this is what the screen on the right here is basically like a ChatGPT or Gemini. It has a bunch of models in there. So it's the same thing. If you do it on ChatGPT or Gemini, you'll basically get the same kind of stuff. So what we're going to do is use this prompt here. So the prompt that we're going to use is, this is for data-driven decisions. So we're going to analyze current trends in a specific industry or market sector within a certain region over the past year, identify key opportunities and challenges for businesses in this sector, and suggest strategies for local chambers of commerce to support their members in leveraging these opportunities and overcoming challenges. So I'm hoping for a willing participant to give me a specific industry and sector and give me your location, and we're actually going to try and produce something and see if it's useful. So can someone type in, give me an industry that is big in your chamber, and then tell me where you're located, and I will put this in. Whoever's quickest wins. Oil and gas, Shreveport. Nice, that's a great one. Okay. So all we're going to do here, now you see how this actually, what's really cool is this recognizes, you see in purple, it recognizes brackets as a placeholder. So when you save prompts, even somewhere else, it's really nice and easy to kind of paste information into those prompts. Okay, so here is oil and gas in Shreveport, Louisiana. And let's say, so to support their member, let's say to grow membership in this sector and region by helping companies leverage these opportunities and overcome challenges. I don't need to do the perfect English, it'll know. So here we go, market fluctuations. And I'd love to hear if this is true. So Lori, please say if this is true. So over the past year, Shreveport and the border region have felt global impact of market fluctuation in oil prices, increased volatility, partly due to geopolitical tensions and the pandemic recovery phase, which influenced local operations, technological advancements, regulatory changes. Local businesses are navigating through evolving environmental regulations aimed at reducing carbon emissions. Compliance with these regulations has been both a challenge and an opportunity for innovation. Okay, so here's the opportunities. Renewable energy ventures, technological integration can leverage technological advancements for cost reduction, workforce development, challenges, market volatility, regulatory compliance, talent acquisition and retention. So strategies, let's see if this is right. Networking events and industry forums, organize events focused on the latest trends and technologies in the oil and gas sector to facilitate knowledge sharing and collaboration among businesses. Let me actually, while I'm going over this, I'm gonna put this in the chat as well. So if you want to use this prompt right now in ChatGPT or something, you can use now. Use your industry, use your region. So Laura, you said pretty accurate. Okay, good. Advocacy and support, act as a liaison between community and regulatory bodies, promote green energy initiatives, implement programs that assist businesses in integrating new technologies, including funding grants, technical support, membership benefits tailored to sector needs. So this is not bad. Like this is like pretty like a good start. Now, what you could do is go into here and say let's see, technology like let's say we like technology adoption programs. So let's say, I really like the idea about technology adoption programs. Can you dive deeper into that strategy and give me more specific ideas? So let's say like this really stands out. I really like that. Can be a crucial strategy for changing commerce, aiming to support the oil and gas sector, especially in regions like Shreveport. These programs can help companies stay competitive, blah, blah, blah. Tech scouting and matchmaking events, grants and financial supporting for technology trials, demonstration projects and case studies, technical webinars and workshops, partnerships with tech incubators and accelerators, support for regulatory compliance and certification, peer-to-peer learning networks, innovation award recognition. So Lori, are those ideas, like, does this make sense? Does this feel like something that your chamber maybe is already doing, or maybe like you would be doing? Like, is there anything in here like, yeah, this is a good idea, we could do this? And then I'm gonna try the Ohio one here. Whirlpool Manufacturing. Oh yeah, it's Sandusky County, Ohio. Yeah, some great new ideas here. Okay, awesome. So here's where we're using AI to help us get started with ideas. Now, again, if you didn't know, like Carol, like if you didn't know chambers of commerce, if you didn't know the oil and gas industry, and if you didn't know your local community, you wouldn't be able to judge whether or not the output that AI just provided is good. Like you might think it is, you might not know, but you know which one of these things are good ideas, which one of these ideas are actually better than other ideas. You also know which one of these ideas are more attainable for your chamber to actually do and pursue, right? Like, so again, you need your expertise, but this is getting us down the road. It's like, okay, well, we're kind of stuck here, or we need some new ideas. We want to brainstorm. So that's that example. So let's now move on to the next one. So now, okay, now we have some ideas about how we can maybe start approaching new members or current members in this area. But let's say now we have let's clear the chat. Let's say now we have an actual company, an actual target that we want to take, and we want to pitch as a member of the chamber. So here is a prompt that we can use. And I use a version like this myself. Given this person's LinkedIn profile, please search the internet for relevant news about their company and industry and draft an email message that matches the benefits. So notice the caps here of becoming a member of our chamber. The first sentence in the message should grab the person's attention and show that this is a personalized message. I always kind of put something like this. Please work in additional information into the message. And then notice how benefits is capitalized here and then capitalized here. Sorry. Then notice how its information is capitalized here and capitalized here. Why that's helpful is like the AI can actually recognize where to reference information when you're telling it, when you're using these like placeholders. So now instead of me putting links and all this information in the middle of my command of my prompt, I'm saving it to the end, and AI can organize its thoughts a little bit better, and it's just cleaner for me to see what I'm actually producing. So I'd love an example here. If someone wants to give me an actual target, so someone's name, or if you can find me a LinkedIn URL, and then also your chamber. And then I'm going to add this stuff into the tool, and we're going to see how well it does. If you don't want to do this, I can just use my LinkedIn URL and my local chamber, which is Somerville, to show you how well this works. Now, this is the one of all of them that is a little bit more risky, because sometimes the tools will come back and say, we cannot search LinkedIn. LinkedIn is like putting up firewalls. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's kind of a cat and mouse game that these programs are playing with each other. So what I'll do here is, and you can find information and we'll do it again. I'm going to put my LinkedIn URL. And then I'm going to go to the Somerville Chamber of Commerce website without them having to do anything. So this is I'm just taking existing information. I'm not creating anything new. I'm going to their join page, and it says like why why do you join, like all this stuff. So it's kind of like their member benefits, but you could, maybe you have something more detailed, maybe you have like a brochure that you can actually upload. And then instead of like information, like here I would put like, if I have like a testimonial of like a member in the marketing industry or in the AI industry, I might add that. But let's just remove this. So all I've done is put in my URL and the about part of Somerville Chamber, and we'll see what it's going to produce. And if anybody else, again, has examples, please put it into the chat and we will work it in as well. So here's where the cat and mouse game is going on. It's trying to figure out, can it actually read my LinkedIn URL, or is LinkedIn going to block it? And if LinkedIn blocks it, what we're going to do is just go to my website. Here we go. It worked, I think. Dear Zach Giglio, very formal. When I think of successful leaders who seamlessly integrate technology with critical business functions, your name, along with the incredible work at GCM, stands out. Innovative ways you are employing artificial intelligence in B2B, small business, and nonprofit marketing and communication strategies. That's sort of inspiring. All right, so that's all pretty accurate. I mean, that's pretty solid. Somerville's Chamber's mission is to be a significant part of growth and success in organizations of varying sizes. We will believe to greatly benefit. We'll open up networking opportunities, exposure, community involvement, cost savings, educational opportunities. I'm actually not that impressed by this. This is not very specific. What I would actually like it to do is to take its member benefits and figure out which ones would be most important to my business. So I'm going to see if it can do a little better job of that. That is a good start, but I want you to match the member benefits Zach would find most interesting given his business. Prioritize them and tailor the language so it resonates with them. Let's see if we can do a little bit of a better job. Again, that's a good start. It's not, but I wouldn't have sent that to me. I like the beginning, but the benefits, like those are general. That's like any member gets those benefits. That's not what we want to do here. We want to get it so it's you're thinking about what member benefits make the most sense to your very specific target, and that's what we're going to use. Let's see if it does a better job. Strategic networking opportunities. Tailored towards the innovators, works with some of the interesting. Your streets and AI can not only benefit from these sessions, but also contribute. That is interesting to me. Collaborations, okay, I guess. Prominent exposure, voice in the community, that's kind of important. Some discounts. I still don't think it's doing that great of a job. So what I would do is try and maybe have a more, like maybe you have a, and I know the Somerville Chamber does have this. I just took like a page off their website. You have like a better like membership package tailored out that you can upload, or you can copy and paste that information, and it would do a better job. Now, the reason why you would do this so targeted is because in the age of AI, which that age is increasing, we are getting inundated. I know you've heard this for years, but we truly are getting inundated. The ability for anybody to create content is much higher than it's ever been. And that's a problem because it means we're just going to keep getting hit with more and more content. I heard this recently, and I don't know if it's true or where I heard it, but that 90% of all the content that will have ever been produced ever will be done in 2025 because of AI. That's a terrifying thought for me. So how are we going to break through? If you're a chamber and you want to break through to a new member or your current members, how do you do that? Well, the way that's always kind of been true is more truer now. That is to speak directly to individuals, not to industries, not to segments, not to people like them, but to a specific individual. And AI, what I just showed you, that's a version of it, can help you do that on a much higher and quicker level. All right, so now we've tailored this to a specific person. Let's say, let's say this went and like, I got that email and I'm like, great, Somerville sounds cool. I'm going to join. Let's have a meeting. And now I have a meeting with Rita Berry, the CEO, coming up. Well, I can't get AI to attend that meeting for Rita, right? But what I can do is help support Rita in her meeting with me. So conduct a comprehensive profile research of the upcoming meeting with Chamber CEO Rita Berry with Zach Giglio of GCM. A high-profile potential member. Thank you. Gather information about Zach's professional background, current role, business interests, community interactions, compatibility with Chamber's mission. After the research, generate a brief that includes a brief overview of Zach Giglio. I think there is one of Zach Giglio out there. Hopefully we're not getting confused. Key accomplishments, blah, 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 blah. So now it's going to brief. So if you're helping your chamber with membership, you got your CEO. Like, there's nothing that replaces hand-to-hand, in-person meetings, coffee meetings. That is by far the best ROI of all the chambers, hundreds of chambers we've spoken with. Everybody says the same thing. There's nothing better than me sitting down with the member, or a potential member, talking to them about our membership. But what we can do is use AI to support those interactions in a meaningful way. Did this already do it? Wow. So that gives you a GCM, a cutting edge firm specializing in integrating artificial intelligence, blah, blah, blah. That's true. Successfully founded GCM. Okay. Noted for pioneering efforts and integration of AI with marketing strategies. I would say so. I don't know if that's objectively true. Active contributor to local business seminars, workshops. That's definitely true. Engage in philanthropic efforts, particularly in areas such as education, technology. That is true. Common ground. Zach and GCM demonstrate a commitment to innovation and community involvement, directly aligning with Somerville Chamber. Here's potential discussion points. Tech and innovation. I'm obsessed with that. Networking and collaborations. I'm obsessed with that. Community engagement. I believe very strongly in that and member benefits. Proposed collaboration. Sponsor technology workshops. GCM could sponsor workshops or seminars focusing. Great idea. Partnerships and community projects. With the community, leveraging people, good idea. Joint marketing initiative. We're actually with the Somerville Chamber. We're basically doing all this stuff. Seek any opportunities such as shared hobbies, mutual business. I do love talking about wine. If I get into a meeting and someone's talking to me about wine, they're probably going to sell me on something. So this is pretty good. Again, this is not AI going and attending the meeting for Rita, but it's very quickly letting Rita walk out the door with a brief on the person she's meeting with, so she or someone on her team doesn't have to spend all this time doing all this manual research. All right. Now, I am a member. And I attended an event. So now you want to be able to quickly produce follow-up information and all that about an event that you can send out to your members and all of that stuff. Now here's this one is very generic. Again, I'm going to send all these to you after. So let's say does anybody have a link? You're going to include this last prompt. Yes, I'm going to send you all of these. I can copy and paste it in here now if you like. It's just a bit long and it's going to kind of take up a lot of the space in here. So can somebody please send me a link to an event that either you've done or you recently done? Anybody have an event? Is anybody running events? No, okay. So this is, all right, so here is me recently, very proudly, won Small Business of the Year. Oh, here's one, good. Melissa Briggs, thank you, perfect. So let's include this here. Oh, I got a few of you. Okay, let's do a couple then, good. All right, so compose a follow-up email for this event. I'm gonna get sloppy. What I really would do is capitalize the event and put it at the bottom, but I'm just gonna put this in brackets so it knows what I'm talking about. That sounds like a cool thing, managing explosive growth with quality development. To collect feedback, include questions on event satisfaction, speaker performance, and suggest for future events. Integrate a link to a brief survey. Say leave a place for a link for releasing. Okay. So hopefully what it's going to be able to do is look at this event and then kind of tailor it. Now, what you could also do is if, let's say you have a list of all the people who attended. So they registered, right? They have their email address, their first name, last name, organization. You could actually, in this tool, upload that list and have this create 100 different emails for 100 different people. So you're speaking directly to people. The more you can speak directly to people, the better the relationships you will have, and the more revenue you will generate, and the more successful it'll all be, because people will be spoken to and they'll be responding better and conversion rates go up. So that's why it's important to kind of do this stuff. All right. Dear participant, thank you for attending Managing Explosive Growth with Quality Development panel breakfast event. We hope the event was valuable and enriched to your knowledge in this area to continue to improve. So this is like, okay, please include a couple takeaways event in the. It's not a little too generic for me, so I would like to have something more specific. Is this correct? Marlisa, is this correct? Did the panel actually talk about that? Yes, good. Okay, so again, you're using AI to, you don't have to create new content. This stuff just has links. Just like let it crawl the web and like do all this work for you. Let's try this one other one, influential women's banquet. And I like the sound of that. We'll do one more. And then we'll move on to the next one. Let's see, let's say start by including a couple key takeaways. And again, please check this, make sure it's correct. Underscore the monumental role of women playing in enriching industries and communities. Our finalist winners represent the epitome of inspiration, unwavering support, sense of camaraderie, and powerful relationships. Eloquently captured one of the attendees. These women, oh, is this correct? These women aren't just making waves, they're causing a tsunami of positive change. I'm really interested in that, if that's correct. Shelby, can you let me know if that quote is correct? Did somebody actually say that? Yeah, awesome. Okay, so great. Again, very tailored, very highly personalized. Now you could say something like you could literally just link someone's LinkedIn or like bio and say, now tailor this to this person to make it more relevant to them. Okay, so now we're moved to the last one. I'm going to open up for questions. So another thing we could do is you have high level content. So this has the ability to attach. I think only the paid. I haven't used the free version of ChatGPT in a while, so I apologize. I think Gemini you can attach. So that's great. So what you can do with attachments is actually quite great. Into I think it was Philip's question before about character limits. So let's say we want to take the last transcript of our Iowa webinar and write an email that summarizes the webinar and encourage people to watch the full webinar for more detail. So I'm saying given the attached, so now I'm gonna find it and just drop it in, which is right here. I've already saved it. If it's being uploaded, so we'll take a second. To my info base, which is really cool. This is where like you store your documents and you can just reference them in the middle of your prompt, and so it's not going out to the whole world to find out information. It's just going to the information you actually want it to do. I wonder if it's in there now. No, it's not. Need to give it a second. ChatGPT doesn't do this even with Pro. It does. ChatGPT does allow you to attach documents. Yeah, I'll show you. Sharing. So this is my ChatGPT. We have Pro. Here's the attached document. Here's the attach button right here. You can also just drop it. Like, I mean, I'll do this whole chat. Watch. I'll do this whole prompt in ChatGPT. So here's the prompt, and now I'm just going to drop it here and attach it. Uploaded. For power of AI and revolutionizing change in management. Let's like break this up into a more easily readable, I know it's not good English, easily eatable format, and bullet out the key takeaways. If you missed it, here are the key takeaways. AI role enhancing engagement, yeah. Boost advocacy with AI, yeah. Oh, I think that's the next one we're doing, by the way. The next webinar together, we're doing boosting advocacy. This stuff is like, I used to do advocacy a lot, and this stuff is game changing. AI as a scale, not a replacement. We talked about that earlier. That is definitely a theme. Practical tips for AI integration. Access to complete recording, so you can hyperlink it there. All right, so those are all the prompts. See, I can do it here too now. So now, because now it's not attached, so given transcript, which I'll just put here. So I'll just do hashtag IOM. See, so now it's linking it right here. Whoops. I don't know why it's not working. Anyway, you've already seen it. So that's all of it. Sorry, I meant view websites. It hasn't let me. Oh, yes, that's right, Bianca, you're right. The free version doesn't let you, but the paid version does. The paid version lets you view websites. It might be some websites that that maybe will block it, but for the most part, ChatGPT should be, the paid version should be allowing you to, yeah, it should be allowing you to do that. So I'm just gonna, let's open it up. Wouldn't scan your chamber website. Really? Can you just drop your chamber website, Bianca, into here, and let me just sign myself? I believe you. I just want to see if I can try a different tool that might work for you. Barnesville. All right. So if we put am I still sharing here? No. Let me reshare. Give me one sec. ChatGPT. Okay, so I was going to say, please provide a summary of what this based on the info on your website. It is thinking longer than normal. Oh. Yeah, wow. That's bizarre. I'm gonna try this on Gemini. Let's see. Okay, so for some reason ChatGPT doesn't like your website. I've not seen that. That's really strange. Yeah, I don't know. I've not encountered that. Sorry, I don't have a good answer. I'm gonna look into that though, and maybe if I find something good, I'll let you know. Um, okay. If there is, so we have about 9 minutes for questions or anything else. You're welcome. Let's see if there's any other questions here. Right now, I'm gonna share the resource guide that I told you about. So this is um, it's geared towards marketing communications, but there'll be a lot. It's free. You give us your email and stuff like that. If you don't want to give me your email, that's okay. Just like drop like something in the text, and I'll like text it to you or something like that. Or I'll send it to CC as well, and the team, and they can give it to you. You don't have to give me your email if you don't want to, but you can download it there. So that was getting our hands a bit dirty. Okay, cool. I'll send that. And trying to hopefully show you and help you actually use this stuff. I will send all the prompts after this as well that we went over today. I really believe in the idea that the more that you can tailor and speak directly to people and not to people like them, the more response you'll get, the more meaningful relationship you will continue to develop, and the more revenue your chamber will generate, quite frankly, because you'll have more engaged membership. Um, rather than sending one, and we'll get into this in later stuff, but like rather than sending one newsletter to all of your members, why not send a newsletter to each of your industries in your membership? And if you really wanted to go crazy, you could do it to each person. And there are workflows, like Copy AI does have where you can actually automate that workflow. So it'll write like hundreds of specific emails at one time if you have like a list. Um, you're all very welcome. Any other questions? It could be about what we went over today or anything else with AI. I'll give a more general tip. The biggest challenge people have when they incorporate AI into their workflow is they try to do too much at one time, and or they try to do things they're not currently doing now. So you don't want to say, wow, look at all this AI can do. I'm going to now do this. If you're not already doing that, I really encourage you not to do it. Find the places in your normal workflows where AI can come in and help you do it more efficiently and better. Don't go outside and try to do more things. Look inside the work you're already doing and think like, what could be replicated? What could be automated? If I had an intern, what would I have them do? Those are really good places. You're all very, very welcome. I'm glad it seems useful for a bunch of you. I'm a little disappointed. Some of them worked out a little too much. AI is very messy. It's not just a very clear input output. Thanks, Beth. Thanks, Carol. My best friend just moved to Somerville last month and decided to visit her there and bring some sunshine back to Ohio. Yes, please do, and let me know if you're around, and feel free to connect us. Somerville is a wonderful, wonderful place. We moved here about over 5 years ago. We thought we were moving here to be near Charleston, which we still love Charleston, but actually I've fallen in love a lot with Somerville. It's a beautiful place. I'm raising a family here as well. But definitely connect us, Lori. You're welcome, Marlisa. Yep, that's what I was hoping to do. Yeah, treat it like an intern. Yeah, that's a good way to start. I mean, really. Charleston is amazing. Yeah, I love Charleston. Very fortunate to be so close. Any questions? Okay. You're welcome.
Excellent. Well, with that, thank you so much, Zach. And if you do have any questions, definitely feel free to reach out and ask. He's such a wealth of knowledge, and we really appreciate you sharing this. It was really neat to see just the involvement. So I hope that you all are learning, and then we can check in and take the next steps and continue going down and better understanding it and practicing together. I think that's one very useful part is to have somebody kind of guide you through and be able to ask those questions. And we're all learning, different things with AI of the different functionalities that each one has, each platform. So very exciting. And just as a reminder for those that joined late, so as a ASAE and ACCE approved provider, or CAE and CCE approved provider, Institute does qualify for 1 hour of CE credit and 1 point for CCE credit. And having participated in the webinar today, if you're here at this point, please email us at iom@uschamber.com to request that webinar certificate. And then as per usual, a recording of today's webinar and then the different resources that were referenced, we will have available on our website, typically about 48 hours after the webinar, as well as a recording of today. So visit that. And thank you again so much for joining us. You get an extra 4 minutes to your extra bonus day today. So have a great rest of the day, everyone, and take care.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.